ahead and call the meeting to order at 6:08. And I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from March 28, 2017. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes for March 28th as written, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? No? All right. Then let's,
You do have some correspondence that is late coming in today, and it will be on the next agenda.
okay.
That's what you got from DLCT, among others.
Okay. Let's go ahead then and run through the warrants really quickly before we get to the highway. I'd like to do that just in case the member of the public comes, so that, if that's okay with you? Okay.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 1 for payroll in the amount of $11,333.93.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of paying payroll warrant number 1 in the amount of $11,333.93 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 2 out of the tax in the amount of $4,626.19.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying warrant number 2 payroll taxes in the amount of $4,626.19 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 3 out of the general fund in the amount of $4,648.96.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying general fund warrant number 3 in the amount of $4,648.96 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 4 out of general fund in the amount of $954.68.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying general fund warrant number 4 in the amount of $954.68 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 5 out of the highway fund in the amount of $3,026.04.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying highway warrant number 5 in the amount of $3,026.04 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 6 out of the equipment fund in the amount of $3,762.
Is there a second? Anybody gonna second it?
I'll second that for discussion.
Oh, okay. Is there any discussion? Now's the time if
Go
you want to
ahead.
discuss it. Throw the ball up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them tire chains that got returned.
I returned tire chains. Cause I ordered, we had ended up with one bag by itself, and they don't sell them in a single bag. So, I told them to bring me, so we can make that bag up. Brought me three bags of chains, so I said, well, we don't really need them right now, and I've been trying to keep my spending down, which you told me to, so I just returned them. There should be no other fees for returning them, so.
That was one thing. I see where there was 2 different prices on that, what got me.
Oh, and the chains?
Yeah.
Were there singles mixed in those? There were some singles also, and there were some triples.
Yeah, but what they paid for them and what they got for them is a different price. The way I read it.
I didn't see the return slips, so I have no idea.
I didn't, there is a 20% restocking charge, but I didn't think that applied to that. I think I looked at that a week ago when it came in.
They
Just to state-
never mentioned 20%.
Yeah, well, no, it's on their invoice, but they never do charge it. And I didn't think that, I thought the numbers worked out.
This is
But I can't remember why there's a difference in prices. I think it's like you said, they're two different. What you ordered in is different than what went back.
$83.
There's a difference of $83?
They still charged you $383, but they credited you for the change that were returned as a credit of $459, but you were still charged $383
They charged, that's what I say, they charged $383.
more than once.
More than once,
Three-
yeah,
three
three
times.
different places.
How many invoices are there in there?
See,
Right, that's broken out by trucks.
yeah, but
See,
it says return here on it, they're still charged.
well, but it says change returned, 1, 2, 3 times. 1, 2, 3 times.
Right, but this is a net pay.
I know, but that's. The intricacies of NIMRIC. Well, look. Okay, so she took the bill of 1610 and she broke it out. Okay? It should equal that. Oh, close. What do we got here? Okay. Here's one set of chains. There's 459. But that's not, those aren't chains. Okay, Kurt, what are the chains around a set? Do you have any idea?
I do, and I don't, well, I have an idea, it's like 400 and almost $500.
They're 450 and change.
459?
Yeah.
Because that's what the credit was
So
459.
they credit us 469.
Right, so you had a total charge for however many sets of chains this is, I can't tell, it must be 4 that were bought at 1610?
It's like 450, it should be more than 1610.
Well, but how many did you say you got?
I got four sets and I returned 2, didn't I?
I have no bloody clue.
The credit slip should,
Well, but that's not the issue. The issue is it's on the warrant as a to be paid. Now, what we don't know is whether or not the total of the return change is included in the
Right.
total at the bottom of the warrant.
because we should have credit.
But the credit wouldn't show on the to be paid warrant. That's our point. Okay. So you've got credit.
3 sets or 3 times?
I know, but look.
No, I'm looking
I
at
thought
that.
it was 2 sets.
Okay, so you got,
I thought I see
Okay,
3
3
on
trucks.
that, but I don't know.
Right.
yeah, 383.
I kept one.
That's how she broke
I
it.
didn't want to be shy.
Right, then why does it say return?
I kept one to make sure we
She
had
just,
one.
because it doesn't add up to $1,600, and she just typed that in there to reflect that they don't trust what she types in NIMRIC. Per se. So I get
So what does that add
1610. So 1610, so the division, if you take 1151.
Wait a minute, I'm doing something else.
Okay.
Just shush.
1151 divided by 3. Then there's an extra penny for one. T9 is costing an extra penny.
Okay, so that's 1151 is what those 3 add up to.
What the bill is, that's how she broke it down, 383,
Yeah.
383, and 67 on that one.
Okay, after
Which is a
you
reflection of the
reject-
1610
right.
less the 459.
So that is correct. That's broken down by 3 trucks. That's
Okay.
the 1151 broken down by 3 trucks. Okay?
Because
Less,
because the credit, rather than, you can't apply credit to these accounts. You have to apply credit as a revenue, and that gets all screwed up. So what she did is she deducted the credit from the actual price of the tire chains that were bought, distributed it between the trucks at that price.
right, it does add up.
She divided the net amount that we owed into the trucks. So it would reflect the cost of the trucks
All
after the
right.
credit.
Is there any other, since it's
No.
so confusing, is there any other discussion on this one? Oh, God, there's one. Oh.
That's the, you know, what all these brake cans and stuff you had to buy and had them outside repaired?
Outside repair, brake cans? No, sir, we do our own brake cans.
No, maybe I'm, yeah. It says T9 brake cans And said that was, that was a cartridge, excuse me. Yeah, that was it. Your outside repair was what, air dryer cartridge?
Pardon me?
The outside repair was an air dryer cartridge?
Yes.
Okay,
Had to borrow their tool. I broke a filter, we had a big filter wrench, couldn't get it. I brought in a chain wrench, broke that son of a gun from home. So we borrowed theirs and got it off. So they probably charged us for that.
is there any other discussion on that warrant? No. Hearing none, all those in favor of paying warrant number 6 from the equipment fund in the amount of $3,762 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 7 out of the general fund in the amount of $11,957.37.
I haven't seen that one. Is there any discussion? Is there a second first?
Second.
Okay, now is there any discussion? It's a bond on the garage. Okay.
It's the interest on the bond on the garage.
Okay, well, but it's the
Yeah,
garage, that's
right.
why it's so big. All right, hearing no discussion, all those in favor of paying warrant number 7 from the general fund in the amount of $11,957.37 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 9 out of the equipment fund.
Eight. Sorry. Eight.
Back to what I was saying.
Right.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 8 out of the highway fund in the amount of $1,039.84.
Is there a
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying highway warrant number 8 in the amount of $1,039.84 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 9 out of the equipment fund in the amount of $2,406.69.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying equipment warrant number 9 in the amount of $2,406.69 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 10 out of the general fund in the amount of $3,976.42.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying warrant number 10 out of the general fund in the amount of $3,976.42 signify by saying aye.
I thought.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. So, in light of the fact that the member of the public isn't here, why don't we go ahead and, if you have some kind of a report, Kurt, we'll let you go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I talked to Wyndham Regional Planning Commission, the end of May, beginning of June, they wanna do that inventory, stormwater runoff water inventory. I said, all right, so at least I got a kind of a definite thing.
That was when?
End of May, beginning of June.
Okay.
Okay. Been grading, repairing, resurfacing, grading and repairing the road. We started doing that pretty much today. All the wings are off the trucks and equipment, wing towers and stuff like that. Talked to Bob DeServo, the tree warden. We kind of sort of have a plan we got to get started on for more trees and a list. And
The list would be great. It would be great to start identifying these trees. The one thing that we did not do this year is set money aside in the budget to do it. So we're going to have to work on a pretty much a prioritized basis. So those trees that are critical, that need to come down, we will focus on first if we can. Just simply because we didn't plan on it.
so I have a list. Matter of fact, I got it together today because he came yesterday.
Okay.
And after I left here today, I went up. Remember we were talking about that. I need a small load of coal patch. I got a coal patch left. It's a little dry. I want to get another load, small load. That's 2 years old now, and I'm gonna mix it together. Hopefully it'll work really well. We've had a couple culvert failures up on the acres this winter. And I don't know if it's a plastic, that series of plastic that was bought at the time, they had totally collapsed. The plastic was brittle, and I'm kinda losing my luster for plastic culverts.
Is that one of them with the smooth bottom or the corrugated?
Smooth bore,
Smooth one?
yeah.
They were the later ones. The first ones came through corrugated. you know.
These were put in, yeah, these were put in long before I came. One right by, Allie Evans Road there, that one above there, and the next one up by Dairy Lane. Both those culverts, poof. And it kinda stinks in the middle of wintertime, when there's this much frost on top of the culvert that collapses the culvert, and then the water's running all over the road.
The culvert's gonna sink, the road comes up.
No, the culverts went,
All squashed.
and they were buried pretty far too.
I say usually, if you've got a dip or anything.
No, oh, no.
The road comes up.
These were totally failed. So, but those are on our list to do as soon as, we're gonna do our grading, and I gotta replace these two culverts, cause one of the roads, I don't know if we've been up on the acres, is narrowed right up, and we had to divert the water and put a culvert across Dairy Lane to take the water.
That the one across Alley's driveway,
No,
or the one that crosses the road?
went across his road. Yeah.
Didn't you just replace one, or was that just temporary? Bigger one?
That's temporary, that's a bigger one. We can use that section in there, we just gotta add on to it.
Oh, I remember you bought a culvert.
I had to, yeah. But,
And that culvert's probably, unless they changed it, it's probably been in there about 14 years. Between 13.
there's no concrete head rod or anything, that was just.
No, we didn't. The only ones that had concrete headers was
The FEMA ones.
the FEMA ones that required it.
Well, other than that, we did have a breakdown with Bob's truck, center bolt. I resurfaced the blocks on the center bolts. These blocks sit on the axle and they get worn, and so I resurfaced them at home so they sit flat on the axle now. Put a new pin on the axle and a new center bolt in it, and torqued everything up. Put a load on it, ran it for a while, and rechecked them, so they should be good now. Well, other than that, knock on wood, everything is copacetic right now.
Anybody have any questions? I've got it.
Yeah, I got one.
Okay, go ahead.
When you gonna fix the shoulders on 35 where you paved last year? I see a car damn near wrecked the other day there, 'cause he dropped off the that pavement. Especially right by, just above the Valley Cars on the right, and up you get up by Chad Greenwood's on the left-hand side, Christ, it's a 2.5, 3-inch drop.
I'll have to get on the shape.
But there's a lot, that whole thing should be, the shoulders should be fixed on it, it paved last year.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions? I've got a couple. You did hand it me, and you should all have I believe you all have in your packet. Did you copy the Bridge 42 application for everybody?
I do believe.
So you should all have a copy of the proposed.
I got one to pass around if you want. There's not much,
Anyway, Kurt did fill out the application for Bridge 42, the structure grant application. And I have a couple of questions because I'm not really clear, since the engineering piece isn't attached to this. You have $88,000, that's the cost of the proposed new bridge.
88,000.
Okay, and then you have another $60,000, which you have listed as the removal disposal of the existing bridge and the installation of the new bridge.
Yes,
Is that based on anything?
yes. I took their numbers and I called
There,
the engineering people's numbers.
okay,
And I called a couple of the contractors that they had talked to, Renault being one and stuff, and I asked them, and I said, this is like 3-year-old price, is there any differential in price? Has it gone up a little bit, or gone down, which I knew that nobody would go down. And he said, yeah, we've gone up a little bit. He says, I would add, like Mike Renault said, I would add some more to that. They were at $51,000 or $2,000. So I put it up to $60,000.
so that, and just so I'm clear on this, that
Yes.
that's to deconstruct and take away.
Deconstruct, take away, dispose of.
No, I thought the bridge plate on that was the state's.
The bridge fund,
That's only 4 by 8.
I have to return that to the state.
Okay, so that'll go back to the state,
Oh,
but that
yeah.
was why I was kind of confused
No,
about
no, no,
what
no,
was
no.
going.
No, they gotta do with the girders, guardrails,
Okay,
prepare the abutments for the new bridge and stuff like that, cause we're gonna widen it about 7 feet.
now is that where the abutment piece comes in? You have $30,000 for paving and abutment repair?
Yes.
With the abutment repair?
Mhm.
And is that any water work at all?
No water work is being done there, we do not need a permit for it.
Well, do we have something with the study that basically says that there's no, because the form that you did, the hydraulics piece that you did, submitted
Yes.
from Mark Pickering,
Right.
actually talks about making some changes to the abutments, or to the footings on the abutments.
The footings, no.
And I was just curious if,
I do not, I think, that was with Tom and Ease, and I do not have a piece of paper from Tom. He told me none was needed.
okay, so.
Well, that one actually is from Todd, I think that's too North Pickering, isn't it?
But
Isn't
that's-
that from Todd Manise too?
It's from
to Victor?
Leslie Russell
Okay,
to Mark Pickering.
okay, but I think Todd Manise is the engineer on the second page, he signed off on it. Anyway, it was kind of a generic, and not knowing what Beck Engineering actually engineered, obviously they engineered what Contech is quoting.
Right, exactly.
Right, so that's basically the bridge, they bring it on a trailer, it bolts together, it's an erector set thing.
More or
They're
less.
not,
No-
right, they're not doing the
But
installation.
see, since no A&R permit was needed,
Yep.
I didn't
Yep.
have to get one waivering it, you know what I mean, just.
But you're saying there's no abutment work that requires getting down into the brook?
No,
Getting
just
it done.
concrete work on top.
Yep, yep, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, what are you gonna do with the I-beams?
That's with the disposal of the stuff.
Huh?
That was in the disposal of the bridge.
All right, but that should be some money there somewhere for that. Not just pay them to take it out. There's 5 stringers, I believe, under that bridge.
Be a fair amount of steel.
What do
Okay.
you figure they're worth?
Huh?
What are they
I don't
worth?
know what they're worth, but I say,
I know.
scrap price or whatever, however they are, but,
That's way
They,
down right now, but I don't know.
no, but I say, if I giving them to them and still paying them top of it, something else.
Yeah,
Well, that it leads me to wonder if they're quoting based on taking those with them.
When we put it out for a bid, we'll have to
Yeah.
discuss that, but this is for the application
Right, for the-
from the
for the
state.
grant.
And that's the prices I got for it.
like I said, I was just some confusion because like I said, in that report, it did talk about water work. All right,
You said that you got all the wings off of the trucks?
Yeah.
Are they gonna put another bigger bridge in?
Another girder bridge, steel bridge,
No.
okay, and then
not
the,
with a corrugated top on it, so.
Yeah, but if you knew how long them had been there, they've been there since, I think, 1938 or 9.
well, before my time,
Probably better steel in 1938 or 39.
Probably.
39, those bridges went in 30.
the,
But also, like that, you take that concrete, you don't keep it clean, at least wash it once a year, it deteriorates. No, not the concrete, but the asphalt, I should say. It'll deteriorate that, and then you start having problems.
the other issue I wanted to just bring forward is that bill that they were talking about earlier, that Patriot bill for the electrical issues that we've had off and on. There has been some communication from Patriot, and we, at the last meeting, did instruct you to find somebody else that could potentially work
Yes.
on that truck.
I did, yeah.
The-
I know who I can, yes.
Okay, I guess it was the service manager at Patriot. Well, he would like to speak to us to address some of the issues that we've
I
had.
have called them people so many times, I'm glad to.
Well, like I said, they did call and they're willing to speak to us if we want to have some kind of a conference call to explain what's been going on with that particular vehicle. And the fact that, I guess that original fire on that truck was caused by someone else splicing the wire to put it in a plow light.
LMD put in the plow lights.
Who's Ellen?
Patriot bought,
Patriot on it now.
Patriot used to be L&B.
Oh,
L&B put in that plow light system, they are the ones that spliced the wires.
Okay, so they're the ones that's like, because basically from day one, that seems to be the issue, is we're now claiming that it was work that was done outside of,
Okay.
and here we go, round and round and round.
Well,
Chase
you
your
did a
tail.
lot of, you made a lot of calls on warranty work on that, because I know there was a lot of issues. The truck was brand new, a year old, and I know you called Patriot or LNB, whoever it was, but you also talked to Freightliner on it, because that should have been under warranty, but obviously it wasn't a manufacturer's defect. So,
Okay, well, the offer has been made, if anybody would like to speak to the parts manager or service manager, I guess it is, at Patriot, that would be able to explain some of the stuff that's been happening with that electrical system
It's
in
just
that
kind of
vehicle.
one-sided because he doesn't, the partial store because he didn't realize or.
they don't want to lose the business.
Right, they don't wanna lose business and L&B put in that wiring system because
Would they not have been aware of that?
I have no idea.
You have no
He's not the service manager, is there, there've been two since then.
There has to be a history with the truck.
Yeah,
or the
but
VIN
see
number.
that change hands.
And
That's what I'm wondering.
And
if
one of the service guy who left, the first service guy left, he opened his own place and that's the guy we're gonna go talk to when we need new service on the truck.
Well, like I said, the offer has been made, if anybody would be interested in hearing that. I just thought I'd pass that along.
But those lights won't be on the line sheet or anything, they're not on the bill sheet. The lights for the.
For the
But
truck.
if they perform any type of repair work on that vehicle, on that premises, it's gotta be the history of the VIN number.
If they keep L&B's records. I don't know.
No, they should have. They kept their customers.
Well, it would just be really interesting in a lot of ways,
Right.
because that truck has gone round and round and round and round with electrical issues from day one. So it would be really interesting in some way, respect to see what they had to say.
I'll go and discuss it with him.
Okay, that would be fine. Is there anything else that we have for Kurt, since it looks like, the person that I did ask him to come, to come to speak to, is
Should
not,
be laughing.
is not going to make it, so.
Should we call her?
No. She
It-
doesn't want
I'm-
to- You're anxious, aren't you?
I'm just asking, is there anything else that we would like to speak to Kurt to? We've addressed the trees, we've addressed, that bill to Patriot, we've addressed the bridge. Anything else that,
There's a question on correspondence, but we already covered that this afternoon.
Oh,
See that you,
no, I
see
don't
that you got the lock on the gate, that was a positive. Only took 3
oh yeah,
weeks.
now we'll have that discussion about garbage shortly, so, but you don't have to stay for that piece. But,
Did you end up with enough keys?
Yes,
Okay.
fire department got theirs.
Just,
Arlen got his.
we could only cut a dozen when I was there, so.
oh, did you?
Oh, yeah, the backup garbage attendant.
Well, I was gonna say, do you wanna, let's do
We
that.
put the-
while- Let's do that while Kurt is here,
Yeah.
that is on the agenda. So we have the transfer station backup attendant, which is number 9 under new business. Craig did post the,
Ed.
well, it wasn't really an ad, it was just a notice that there was going to be a position open. And
We
we,
had 4 immediate responses, so I did not put it in the paper for underwrites.
so we had,
That's
Mike Bills, Jariah Bills are both interested in filling in. And then, Michelle, what's her last name? Pronounce it for me.
Valerie?
Yes. Is interested. Does she go by Brooks most of the
Because
time?
it's easier to pronounce.
It is. Is interested in doing it as well. So my,
Does she have any references?
Yeah, she
yes, she did. She's got a whole slew of them.
Yep, and Joe isn't one of them.
No?
He might shake you guys.
She just might.
So what I'd like to do is make a list of those 3 individuals with their phone numbers and have you try to get together with them if the board agrees with those 3.
Yeah.
If there's an
You're all 3
issue,
together at once, we can do a little clinic on the truck
Exactly.
with the check holder.
all the things that has to happen to be able to deal with the vehicle.
Contact information, if something comes up, you got some people to call and just, I mean,
So I would entertain a motion to add these names to a list of potential transfer station backup attendants.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion on it? Hearing
We're
none-
paying, casual labor rate.
Casual
Yes.
labor rate, yes. Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of providing Kurt with a list of potential backup transfer station attendants, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. So we'll get those phone numbers to you.
Sure.
So that you can, get that inside. And then, like I said, we'll let you know as well what's going on with the transfer station itself as we start discussing the garbage. The other issue that did come up, and while Kurt's here, we may as well bring this one up, so if he has any objections, we can take care of it right now, is the, oh Lordy Almighty. There's a letter in your packet, yep. No, it's addressed to the select board.
Is it the salt?
No.
No, it's the select board, it's dated 4/7.
Oh, yeah, the VABIR.
Yeah, Josh
Josh
Hallock.
Hallock.
That he's basically saying that they've got students or young adults that they would like to find some employment for, if you don't have it.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it. That they, would like to find a 4-week engagement, 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, for an hour and a half each day to help doing some of the tasks that are involved with the town. And I know we did run this by Kurt a little bit earlier when he was in this afternoon to see if there was anything out of the garage that might be available for these individuals. And I just wonder where the board stands on this. I mean, it's something we can do, we don't have to do it. I don't know if Kurt's wants to really take on the oversight of this, granted it's only an hour and a half a day, but
Hour and a half a day, 3 days a week, and I don't think you have to fill their schedule or meet that commitment, but again,
Well, if I work with collaboration with somebody in the town hall, if they want them, or the library, or,
there are a couple of things that can, I'm just looking out front, that can be raked. I mean, it's an aerated raking, and really well, I know parts of the common, like park benches we talked about, you've got some cleanup up there, there's trash that's blowing all over the yard up there. There are those kinds of things that would eat up a few hours without any problem, and aren't high skilled.
Sweep up the shop.
Well, yeah, it doesn't require a lot of
Organized.
supervision, it doesn't, right. So,
We could send them on the common, there's a bunch of stuff from the plow that they could rake that stuff up.
well,
smooth
maybe
things
the
up.
ball field as well, if that needs a little tending to, a little filling in the ditches or raking in the mounds or
If it
whatever.
was a month and a half, or if it was a couple months earlier, they could have shoveled.
yeah. There's plenty of that to do. So what's your pleasure on contacting this?
They do come fully insured, I mean, they're covering
Yeah.
all the,
That's all right.
right.
you know, they come with a handler, right?
They come with a handler, no, they get delivered and introduced and basically pointed in a direction.
Right, because so they will drop them off and then you can pick them up.
But they're supposed to
So I think
understand,
if we work with collaborating with all of us.
but they're supposed to understand why they're coming and maybe not the task that they're gonna be doing. But they're coming for a reason, the reason is to work. So basically, when they get here, you'll talk about it, or I'll talk about it, or somebody will talk about it with whoever brings them. Give them an assignment, make sure they understand it, and then they should be pretty much on their own after that. It shouldn't be that complicated. We're not gonna have them painting a clock tower.
Do they run chainsaws? Cause we could
Well,
stick them on the back.
I've got wooden split, there's some, you got some raking to do at your place?
Oh, a lot, yeah. So what's
What about that list of trees?
Labor's labor.
what's your pleasure with this? Is this something that we would?
What's the
Pursue
cost? What do they
further?
charge?
Yeah.
Should we
There's no
pursue it
charge.
further? I would make the motion to pursue it further.
I move to pursue this further to gather enough information to
Second.
make the decision as to whether we can do this.
Okay, so
I mean, it's gonna be dependent on weather and flexibility for whoever coming into the projects, but,
is there any further discussion on that? There's no charge for this that I've been able to find.
yeah, there is no charge.
All right, all those in favor of gathering more information signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Would you be so kind as to contact him and find out what might be involved in the way of paperwork?
Yes, I will.
So that
It is to provide the kids with work experience, and basically you or me or whoever will sign a piece of paper that says they did a good job. I mean, or they showed up on time, did what they were supposed to do, so.
Okay, then I think that's all we need you for. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Kurt.
Thank you, Kurt.
Have a good night.
All right, members of the public, there's nobody here at the moment. We've already done the one correspondence piece, which is what we just talked about.
Yep.
Oh, Lordy Almighty. The RFP for the food waste recycling.
You should have there, I'm hoping, something, via transfer station town.
Yeah, from Triple T.
Yeah, I do have a printout that I don't know if I gave it to you or not. Actually, is there a printout?
No.
That was just the email. The printout was Triple T's bid. Actually. Might take a minute to find. But by and large, it's gonna run
The
about.
mail got one, I didn't. That's not fair.
Have mine.
What'd you get, a letter or the?
I didn't get the letter, everybody else did.
It came to you directly, email,
I know.
to the other Kathy.
To the other one, okay.
If I have that, convenient here.
Oh, yes, this is the one where it has all the towns.
Transfer station town.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
145 if we go to
Yeah,
190
that's
if all the towns agree.
You need the toilet paper, you told me.
Now, I read this over. Is there any, like, so, say, of the, what, there's 7, 8 towns?
Yeah.
Say 4 towns. Does that bring it down to 100? Does it?
That
go to
could probably be
125?
negotiated with Triple T, but I think they're looking at running from Brattleboro to Stratton and hitting all 8 towns and doing it on one day just for the food kind of thing.
Yep.
And if that were the case, they could reduce their travel costs significantly.
Yeah.
However, getting 8 towns to agree to this, the difference between 145 a week and 90 a week is significant.
Yeah,
But even at 90 a week, you're looking at a pretty hefty cost to get rid of food. And that cost is a division of the tonnage they collect in all the towns they're collecting from. I'm sorry, that cost would be a per pickup cost. We will pay a tipping fee on top of that, which is not based on how many
Right.
pounds we put in,
No, it's
but
just
based
the
on the
box.
total divided by the number they're picking up
So
from.
we will be paying for other towns as well.
Well, unless we have more than others, in which
Right,
case they'll be
and they're
paying for us,
paying for
but
us.
it's not likely that we're gonna put that much food in the box.
Right.
Really?
There she is.
Darn.
So it becomes an expense, and you couple that with a couple other considerations. The cost of the box is about 200, I guess it's $1,000, and they're gonna pay 80% of it, or the grant will cover 80% of it, so there'll be a 20% matching fee that we have to kick in. But the projection is, you're looking at about $6 grand a year to get rid of food, which we're now getting rid of in the $2.50 bags, only to those who throw.
Right.
But now because you have to recycle, you can't charge for it, and it's
Right.
gotta go in a special container.
But isn't that part of the thing that after July 1st, we have to?
If you're still a transfer station, yes,
Right.
you have to take food. But I'm concerned, and maybe you've seen those boxes. Is that gonna be a lid that can open and
Well,
close?
they haven't ordered the boxes yet.
Is Arnold gonna be able to open the lid on that? Is Christina Angell gonna be able to open the lid?
I don't know, I haven't seen nothing.
Because to keep a bear out, you
Well,
need,
the reason there was, what it said, I believe in here, they hadn't ordered boxes because if it happened to be a,
Right, because it had to be an end loader or a side loader, right?
so. Until you decide which way you're gonna go, they're not gonna order the boxes. I guess they apparently said they could get them fairly soon. But it's
Right.
supposed to be bear proof, so I don't know what that.
right, but it's gonna take a pretty substantial lock on the lid, if not a substantial lid, to keep the bears and the raccoons and everything else out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I got no idea.
but,
I
What if
also
we just said no, and we just don't wanna do it? I mean, cause it's like, I think we've overthought the trash to the point of just, like, it's trash.
We
We
had
don't
just-
need to keep breaking it down and get more boxes, before you know it, we'll need Oh, I mean, it's just
Kathy
ridiculous.
and I crunched some numbers last week.
Throw it in
and-
the freaking compactor and get rid of it. Like
Kathy and I
everybody else
crunched some
gets rid of
numbers
the
last
trash.
week, and it's an either all or nothing proposition at this point. We're either in the business or we gotta get out by July
We should
first.
get
I
out,
mean,
because we're using up our time. messing
there really
around,
isn't any
talking
wiggle
about it.
room in between.
I mean, we did, up at town meeting, they did ask us to take a look at the cost of curbside
Yeah,
in town.
yeah.
And we had the listers come back with about 700 residences,
350.
yeah, that roughly, no numbers right now.
Okay.
Roughly 700 households that would need pickup or have pickup from some location. Crunching the numbers was almost $250,000, $350,000 to actually provide the service for the residents of town.
We missed a couple of digits the first time around.
Yeah, we got a little excited. We
Yeah,
thought we
real
had,
excited. But anyway, yeah, 700 households at $40 a week. I mean, and you would get a hell of a discount if you booked 700 households, but nonetheless, it's still pretty hefty.
Yeah.
And what you're looking at, and the argument has been, that 3 years ago, the taxpayer was covering the cost of trash for about $30,000 in tax basis. When we went to pay as you throw, it went to 35 just on bags, and the taxpayer is still kicking in roughly another 10. So it's gone from 30 to 45. With this, we're gonna run it up into the 70s, and it's the same volume.
Right.
nothing's changing.
But they don't leave us any wiggle room to say we wanna do this, but not that. It's-
No,
We have to,
It's all or nothing.
yeah, if we
I've
take
asked-
trash, we have to take recycling, and that's the
Yep,
deal.
that, now, can you charge for that compost?
You can't charge for recycling.
No,
The
that's
food
what
is a
I was saying, you
recycled product.
can't.
Yeah.
The problem is that Wyndham Solid Waste is charging a tipping fee for it, because they have to handle it, obviously, and they have to cover their cost of handling it. Well, we can't charge for the cost of handling it unless we add it to the bag price, and the two are very indistinct.
Right.
But we're gonna have to add to the bag price if we're gonna take on recycling at $20,000 to get rid of, plus the food at another $5,000 or $6,000 to get rid of. You know, the people that are throwing their bags in at $5, $6, $7 a bag aren't gonna do that for very long. And then you've gotta pay an attendant, and you've gotta transfer the stuff to Triple T, and you gotta pay that tipping fee. There's not gonna be a whole lot in those purple bags, plastic wrappers.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So the volume's gonna go down on that, which is maybe a good thing, but again, the state is mandating us right out of business. Just what happened to Wyndham Solid Waste, and the economy that's not buying recyclables.
Sure makes a burn barrel look pretty easy.
Well, I told one of our representatives that, I said, if, we go out of business here, they're going out of business down there, basically. You're gonna see some issues. Joe was mentioning there's some trash on the side of the road on some of the back roads that he's traveled. I'm thinking that wood stoves are gonna fire up at night. You get rid of an awful lot in a wood stove in the summertime, if nobody sees the smoke, and the ravines are gonna fill, or if you've got a little backhoe, you dig a hole. I mean, it's gonna happen again.
So basically, we were asked at town meeting to come back and have a discussion about the trash and what options there are out there. And I think we have enough base information now to be able to say that it's gonna be costly regardless of what
Oh,
we
yeah.
do, if we stay in the business.
You do have some haulers interested in bidding on the recycling RFP that I put out for the cans and the paper and the cardboard. And you will hear from that at your next meeting. You should have some bids in for that.
So-
And we'll have a better figure on that. Now we know what the food's gonna cost us.
Like, they're gonna say this one here, I got my paperwork from Wyndham Solid Waste, and they're gonna wanna know Thursday night if you're gonna do it or not.
This is the way this whole thing is gone. They wanna know
We
answers
just got it
before we
last
even have any
week. We don't
information.
have our costs for recycling paper and cans. We're a transfer station. It makes a
No, I
difference.
mean, this is,
Yeah,
the compost.
yeah, I understand. But we can't,
We can answer.
We're in no position
Nope.
to
the email
have an
came in,
answer yet.
the email came in 10 days ago, but this is the first time you guys have had to meet, and you haven't had time to think about it. I mean, I don't know what to do. It's not gonna be in the RFP for the handling the recycling, which I think is gonna be 15 to 20 if the food is just 6,000. I think the recycling is gonna be considerably more.
No, the recycling, but I'm talking just about the compost.
Yeah, I know.
Well, then just tell them no. We don't want, not good.
But if we're not one of the 8
Just give
towns,
them an answer whether
Yeah,
it's the
you
right
won't
answer or
get,
not.
you won't get it.
Well, just give them an
today.
answer, if they want an answer.
No, but I say, you won't be able to get rid of it. You'll have to hire some private hauler to take care of it.
Well, then tell them yes.
No, I say, I don't know.
we have a little piece of property out on Route 30 somewhere, we'll have a pig farm.
Glad I don't live on Route 30.
That won't work.
Partially work.
I don't know, I
the
would
new
Pigs and goats.
You ain't seen the new regulations do with agriculture and animals.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, really? They're doing that too?
So, yeah.
I can't have pigs and goats to take the food out? Flies, termites, can I have
Oh.
flies?
I know your raccoon may qualify as an elephant before we're all
I
said and
gotta
done.
say, there's a lot more to it than just,
There's a raccoon up at the highway garage, I tell you, he stands that high on his back. He could barely make it out of the dumpster when he was.
So we will have some potential bids for the other recyclables at the next meeting, which is when we're gonna have to actually come down to brass tacks and decide what we're gonna do. Because we've got to get the information out to people.
I would doubt that all 8 district towns are gonna be able to make a decision, or 7 other district towns will make a decision on Thursday night. This is too quick. I mean, we've known about it, but the boxes, this is, the bid from Triple T just came in
Right.
Friday.
Yeah, the
You know?
email was just, yeah.
Friday, maybe,
late-
or
late last week,
Thursday,
right?
something like
Yeah.
that.
So we need to, that will be on the agenda as a top priority for getting some kind of an answer together at the next meeting. Okay, so just before I forget, and we go back in the agenda. Joe, I skipped right over you. Did you have a number for us?
Yeah, I do.
I'm sorry, I just skipped.
With your sweep account and your checking account, you have $739,065.57.
All right. And you all should have gotten from the town clerk, you should have gotten the over the counter monies as well. Because I forgot to mention that after Kurt left.
Yeah.
So, Miss Angell,
Yes,
did you want to speak to us about an issue?
yes, I did want to speak to you about my issue that some of you are familiar with, and some of you might like to come to my house and see it. Have you discussed this at all, or should I have to, do I
We-
explain it?
There are two
For 2 of us, we were well aware of what's going on. The other 3 are kind of out on the peripheral.
Okay. I know Irv knows about it, or knows where the town water goes. I'm at the end of on the dumping station, my property is, for the highway water that comes in through the grates in the road. And it comes down and it goes into a grate right near the Jeffords driveway. And the Jeffords have a ditch, and it goes through a culvert underneath the road and onto my property. And from there, it used to go in a town-maintained ditch across my backyard under the stone wall, and go down the edge of what the other piece of town of the town property that I have bought. But it has not been maintained, and now it's gotten to be a real mess. It's gotten a lot of debris that's built up the land on my property around it, and every time the water comes now, it goes all over my backyard. And I got some stones about this big around each, and I have 3 piles of them that I had intended to put in this trench when they did it. And I had to buy tarps to put over these stones, because even with the little tiny bit of water that we had last summer, those stones moved all over, so that the guy who mows the meadow and the guy that mows my lawn couldn't do it because of the stones there. So I had to go around and pick up the stones, buy tarp, put the tarps over, and nail them down. So I would be very, very much appreciate having that cleared out underneath where the water comes under the culvert, and having the ditch done so that the water goes there and not all over my property. If you go on the property, you can see there's a leaf pile where the leaves are pushed around the edge.
according to the highway standards, in Title 19, the rights of municipalities maintain ditches or discharge water from culverts onto private property outside the right of way, a natural drainage pattern. In these censuses, there are no rights. Municipalities may need to rely on having acquired. Well, that goes back. There is rights, and it's in that, there's another part somewhere which I don't happen to have, but you can't do anything to block that ditch up, which you have with stone.
No, I haven't put them where the ditch is.
No,
Beside it.
hey,
Beside
now, Chris, I went by that, so I see the stone in the ditch.
But the ditch is rerouting now too.
Well, yeah, but they got stone in where the original ditch was. I know, because I figured it was a highway for it.
But you can see the ditch is all filled in. And that's the way it's been. And Kurt came last year because it was full and cleaned out just where the water comes out from the culvert and said he was not to touch the rest of the ditch. That was my problem. It wasn't the town's problem. And I sent him back to the town, and we have been discussing that ever since. It's not a natural runoff. It's a town-created situation on my property. And originally, there was, when that was done in the late part of the 19th century, that was a ditch that had been maintained. And I think that Kathy contacted the Newells, and Mrs. Newell had a ditch there. And Mitch has gotten stuck in the ditch before too.
I looked them up, right in the highway, you look right in the logbook. It says that for private individuals, so interfere with the drainage.
Well, that was all before I bought those stones last year to put in the bottom of the ditch, okay? And if you want to verify that, contact Joe next door, because I hadn't noticed this until I went out to rake around there,
Well, I mean,
and it was plugged.
If it's just a matter of cleaning the ditch out, we can clean the ditch out.
Well, before we go through this
But
further, I
that
think
don't mean that you don't put nothing back in it.
we,
Okay, well, I won't put stone in it.
We did stone wall work.
Huh?
but we also, as I recall, and I don't have the minutes in front of me, but I believe the board did decide to go in and to fix the trench and to create the drainage. I think that's a matter of record in the minutes.
And I'm happy not to use the stones. I mean, that's fine with me.
But I also have your letter that came immediately on the heels of the board instructing Kurt to go out and take care of that, where you started asking for a culvert all the way across the property and et cetera, which is where the discussions basically stopped.
I said that would be ideal.
Yeah, but that-
And
I
a
think you gave
culvert
us-
and a culvert would plug.
You
Yeah,
gave
but
us
they
two
can't do
different
that
things
because
that-
it'll plug up and then you've got to dig
No,
the.
that's what I just said. I said a culvert doesn't make sense because how do you unplug a long pipe? You can't.
You go through this.
No, you can't.
You'd have to dig it up, and you can't do that. So it has to be a ditch.
Yeah, if it's a matter of cleaning the ditch out, we can see
And,
what that.
and if I put those stones in a pile somewhere, I have another question for you about the stones. If you go over and you look at where the culvert comes out, if you got out, you
I
can
know that
see
is, because I put it in there.
that the road is starting to slump over it. And 20 years ago, when I first bought that property, that was a stone arch where the culvert went underneath. And I don't know if in the flood or when, but it's slumping, and the edge of the road is starting to slump off.
Yeah, I want a stone house, however, there's a stone laid up for head wall.
It was laid stone, that's for sure. But if you look at it now,
I actually think James Follett built that.
Huh?
It was a stone bridge at one point, right?
No, it was a culvert.
God, I
I
hope
was
not.
thinking, I thought James Follett built it.
No, it was a culvert.
I thought it was the first one he built when he came to town after the Civil War.
No, I want to think, this one was a culvert, and I had to get big safe when we replaced that culvert. To
then
come,
it's at the end of it is collapsed.
on the uphill end is buried telephone wire.
So my
And
question.
the sign for that wires is down in the bottom of the culvert right now. There's a little blue sign supposed to be on somebody knocked that off the road. It's down in the ditch.
Well, I don't know that.
Okay, so my question is, if you have to fix that whenever the road slumps, would you want to use those stones for fill?
They probably, I don't know, if they're the right guy, they probably use them again.
That's what I wondered, and so I could store them up near the edge there where they would be handy.
Oh, you mean the stone that's in the ditch?
Yeah, that's small stuff.
That small stone that I've got little tarps over.
What's the receipt date on that?
This is August 29th.
Okay, thanks.
So it's
Yeah,
gonna
but
be
you
well
wouldn't be,
before that.
the little stone, you wouldn't be able to lay up the end of the culvert anyways.
Now, these are about this big around.
Yeah, I know, it's 4 inch across a run. Then screen, so it's screening.
Yeah, because this is the letter that's pertinent that we received from you. And it's dated August 27th. It says, the Friday, August 26th edition of the Vermont Digger contained an article about water, sewer, roadway runoff in Vermont cities and towns. Since reading it, I've concluded that the center of the town of Townsend might also contain contaminated runoff because most townspeople have septic systems and some of those may be old and leaky. Given that really filthy town water may be flowing on my property, I now have concluded that instead of catch basins with a swale, the town personnel should dig a ditch and install a culvert all the way across the property. My backyard is less than 1 acre and the town has created a water dump in the middle of my yard. And that's what we received after we agreed to go ahead and put the ditch in. Which is, like I said, that's where our conversation stopped.
Okay.
So if we're back to where we were before,
Yeah,
where
with a ditch.
we're just a ditch to move that water on
A ditch
through.
I think you need some kind of a catch basin, which is what Kurt cleaned out.
Right.
Right under that culvert. And then the ditch is really for the overflow from the catch basin.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know,
You wanna relive this too?
oh, no, what have I got?
Well, let's see, just to figure out which one's which. Well, number 6 at the top is the second one, so this is the first one. Discussion, site visit, and then here, members of the public.
No, okay, so the motion when we came back from the site visit
That's
that day,
August.
right, was to instruct the highway foreman to get written permission from the landowner to address water runoff issues by improving the swale across the property. That was the initial
August
one.
23rd, I believe, on that one. Maybe on the front page.
That was August 23rd. Then we got your letter of October 27th that said you didn't want a swale with a ditch. You
No.
wanted
And then
a
September
culvert.
3rd is that one, I believe.
And
No,
then this,
Kurt, what's his name, Kit said the night that he was here, that instead of the swale, to just dig an 8x8 catch basin there, and that was it. And I said, you're not just gonna leave stagnant water on the land, you can't do that.
No, that wouldn't work.
No.
It might work for a little while, but it
No.
causes
It'll fill in.
more problems than.
Well, and it would breed mosquitoes, I don't need that, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
okay, so, yeah, and then the meeting on the September 27th,
And that's when I said, don't
right.
tell her to do that.
I read your letter, because it says, Peggy then read correspondence received from Angell, and requesting the town completely bury a culvert across her property and tend to other matters on her land within the town right of way, including stone wall repairs, which is referring to your letter. Martin apologized to the board for what he said was a hasty action on his part to appease Angell by having the town deepen the drainage swale, which is what you're now talking about, over her property, given the excess of her new demands on the town. And then he asked Bostrom to assess the condition of the culvert under the cemetery road and to clear brush from the ditch that's where it stopped,
Yeah.
basically.
It's essentially a continuation of the ditch from Joey's, is what it is, to across the property and underneath the stone wall, and then it drains, it goes downhill to that pool at the end. Yeah.
So, any thoughts? You want to think about it? Do you want to have a discussion with Kurt since he's
Yeah,
already
I think
left?
we, the thing to do, somebody,
Go out there and look at it, Rob?
well,
No, I've already looked at it.
Kurt and Chris and I, we talked it, roughly what she wants done to keep that swale open.
Okay,
Well, I
so,
think it was written in the letter what she wanted done.
Yeah, but if we do it right on that, right where she's there,
So,
then you can't say that we did something she didn't want.
so I was
Well,
gonna,
you know, people are very nice, and Kurt's been, when he came down that day, I didn't think he'd come as quickly, and so Joey said, look, he said, if you call Kurt and he doesn't come, I said, he's not gonna come for an old lady like me. And Joey said, if he doesn't come, you call me. And I called him, and he and the guy were there within a couple of hours, and they cleaned that catch basin. He was very nice and accommodating, really.
so if you, will you get together with
Yeah.
Kurt and
And we'll
see
get a hold
Mr.
of Chris and see when we can be.
And then bring back whatever recommendation you all come to agreement with, back to the board, and we'll have a discussion about it. Does that sound
Yeah, that sounds good.
about right? Okay, so you can expect a call from Irv and or from
Anybody who
Kurt.
doesn't know where it is, it's Oakwood Cemetery Road. Her house is going north on Route 30, just past Oakwood Cemetery Road. And the culvert is on Oakwood Cemetery Road, right in the middle of her property.
Yeah,
It
Jeffrey's
goes
from-
kind
I
of- You
live in
can't miss it,
Jeffrey's
it's a
house.
bridge.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big culvert.
Okay, so
All right.
hopefully they'll be in touch with you very shortly.
So this summer it'll look nice, right? I can finish the project I did last year.
As long as you don't change your mind.
I'm not gonna. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
Yes, and welcome, and I'm glad that you guys have.
This is Will Bissonette, that's Steve.
Pleasure to meet you.
It's nice
Nice to
of
meet
you
you.
to do this for the town, as it is for Kathy and Irv, and I'm glad Irv's well.
Yeah, you were gone the last time, weren't you?
Yeah.
No, he looks a lot better than
Yeah, he
last
does.
time. Good night.
He's upright.
All right,
Have a good evening.
All right.
So Stoll is gonna meet with Angell and
See ya.
Bostrom and report to the board, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
please. All right,
And so,
now, moving on to the municipal attorney, I just want to note that we are shortly going to have the need, okay, that's not, we're shortly going to have the need of services of a town attorney. The attorney that the board appointed 2 years ago, 3 years?
yeah, we're gonna go
2.5 years
We're gonna
ago?
go 3.
Okay, has not been in contact with us for quite a while, but we do have the piece of property coming out that we purchased at tax sale in May of last year.
Yeah.
It's coming up, and we're gonna have to decide what to do with that piece.
But there are
Most,
things that need to be done before you decide, or
and most,
concomitant with this.
and most notably, we're going to need an attorney's advice as to how to make sure that the premise is vacated and how we can actually access that piece of property. So Craig and I have been discussing lawyers, and we went this whole vetting process the last time, and it didn't really get us anywhere. So the attorney that's been handling the tax sales and is most familiar with this piece of property is Lawrence Slayson.
yeah, right.
And I am kind of the impression that it would be in our best interest to see whether or not he would be interested in serving as Townsend's town attorney as well as just the delinquent tax collector's attorney. So if anybody's got any comments or would like to make a motion, I would entertain that.
I'd make a motion to use Mr. Slayson as our town attorney in the proceedings on the Johnson.
Well, not just that, but just
as
the
our
town
general-
attorney.
General municipal attorney.
Yeah,
So, second.
okay, is there any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of appointing Lawrence Slayson as the town's municipal attorney signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion passes. So that takes care of that. Given that, I am going to ask for an executive session, after we do some of this other business to, discuss a legal matter. So, municipal officer appointments, do we have any?
We have one. You do have a new sheet, I believe, let me look at it. I think this is updated
When
from what you've already done. There's still some important ones, but Laura Richardson has requested to be appointed to the Recreation Committee.
Okay,
She'd like to work with Ms. Wright, and Mrs. Wright, I should say. And
I did pass the list along to a friend of mine, Chris Wassell, who's new in town, in the insurance business. He's looking it over to see if there's something that
if he
might
wants,
interest
if he
him.
wants anything I got,
Yeah,
I'm happy to sell.
I can't
Told
even
him to get in touch
find
with
my list.
Yeah. No, if he wants anything, I've been appointed to him. That's all right.
So just
I just have the one, so I mean,
Laura Richardson?
yep, we do need Wyndham Regional Commission.
Yeah, I know,
appointees.
they're getting pushy.
We need
Yeah,
senior
I saw that
solution. Wyndham Regional is, yeah, they were, the day after town meeting, they were wanting to. We still have an opening on the planning commission.
Do we have somewhere a description of each of the appointments and like meeting schedules, anything like
For
that?
many of these appointments, no, but certainly for offices like the planning commission, we do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you send me a copy of those?
I can get you something
If you
for
can.
that, yeah.
Thank you.
Is there any other people that would like to be nominated for an appointment? Okay, hearing none, then I'll
What was
let,
the one that I was on there last year, Craig?
We had you on the FEMA, as the FEMA representative, and actually that's still open.
All right,
FEMA Administrator Flood, and, let's see, we still have, you should have, with Senior Solutions, we have an opening for, I just can't seem to find anybody. We're not doing a deputy health officer, I would gather, at this point. Planning Commission, Recreational Committee, still probably would be nice to have another person on that. You have 2 on Social Services Screening Committee, you don't have anybody on a Town Report Committee, but I think you need to talk about that at some point. Visiting Nurse Association, we haven't had for a couple of years, and Wyndham Regional's the really important one. If Irv would be our FEMA floodplain administrator, or our FEMA administrator, then I think we're past the flood stage this year, I think you're safe, but
hopefully.
hopefully, yeah.
Is that why you were
We
hoping?
got bridge 42, baby, to take
Irene
down.
didn't. Irene is in the middle.
Yeah, I know, that was August.
all right, so I'll then entertain a motion to appoint Laura Richardson to the Recreation Committee and Irvin Stoll to the FEMA, was it flood administrator?
It's the, FEMA administrator, slide in parentheses.
Is there a second to that?
Second.
All right. All those in favor of making those appointments signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Since it,
Yeah, okay.
Who
Motion-
made the motion? You did?
I did.
Okay, good.
The motion passes.
better not vote myself.
So then kind of going ask backwards again. Let's go back up to the Town Manager Administrator Study Committee update.
Okay, we had our first meeting. I think it's a good group, a divergent range of opinion. And what we did was basically we decided to take in, everyone was gonna take a town or some people, gather some more information, try to figure out what works, what doesn't work for some of the local towns and how they're doing it. And then when we meet again, I think on the 24th. I think it's the 24th.
I think it's the 24th,
Yeah.
Monday.
We will then kind of put together that information and start formulating a plan to look at moving forward.
Okay, any further questions? No?
Do you have any questions?
No, I mean, you gotta get some information to get a place to start looking at things.
Yeah, that's, I mean,
Yeah.
basically, Craig was kind enough to give me a list of former select board members, which I'm in the process of trying to get a hold of. And we've divvied up amongst the committee. I think we have 6 or 8 different towns where people are gonna talk to, as many people as they can get a hold of to see what other towns are doing and how it's working for them.
Everybody should have a copy of the first minutes, I
Yeah.
believe, in the box that Phil Moriarty put out. From your first meeting.
Okay, so is there anything else? Any other business of any kind other than the executive session?
We did food waste recycling, just to check it out.
Yeah, let's look at the agenda
We're gonna
here.
do law enforcement.
Okay,
You're under arrest.
you're under arrest, yeah, you did it. Oh, no, Craig and I had a visit from a state police investigator yesterday. He said, we've already done law enforcement. Just so you know.
Joe wore him out before I got.
I know, Joe did, I think Joe was involved too. Joe did a good job. All right.
Yeah, looks like everything
Okay,
was.
so then, I'll entertain a motion to take a 5-minute recess. It is 7:20,
Yeah.
and then come back and go into an executive session.
So move.
Second?
All those in favor of taking a recess before entering executive session, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are you
Close?
going into executive session with this motion so that he can back, or does he need to wait to have the motion to go
Well,
into
we
executive?
can,
Do you need
okay.
premature discovery?
No,
Okay, all right. Just-
Premature discovery.
Well, the premature discovery,
That-
premature disclosure of information would,
no.
okay, so, no, I was just, so do you wanna make a motion to go
Well,
into
actually, we
executive
did-
session at 25 past or something? And
We've been through
Just a
everything, you know.
minute, just a minute, see, where are you here? Let me show you.
You on my list?
No, I'm
Back
looking at,
Okay.
okay, it's 117, so it should be 313. Yeah, I guess actually we do. Let's go ahead and move into executive session and then take our recess for our
Well, no,
break.
you're gonna move into executive session at 25 past.
Okay, that's fine.
That gives you
We can do that.
time to stretch.
All right, then, anyway, I'll entertain a motion to find that discussion of attorney-client information would put the municipality at a disadvantage if it were to be held in public.
So moved.
Second.
All those, or any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of finding that discussion of legal, what is it?
Discussion of attorney-client matters,
Communications.
communications.
Would put the put the town, yeah, one of those things.
Yeah, okay,
Put the
I got it,
town
I
at
got
a
it.
disadvantage, you're right. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Just do it. All right, then, I'll make a motion to move into an executive session to discuss attorney-client communications at 7:25.
Second.
Well, okay.
Oh,
So
sorry,
I'll make the,
Moved, second, and
okay,
aye.
okay. All those in favor of moving into executive session at 7:25, signify by saying aye.
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 All right. So we will then come back and go into an executive session. There will not be any resolution to this.
Or there won't be any other business.